Hey y'all, it's Trent on the Loose, and today we are going to talk about money. Show me the money, Jay. Yeah, you had to be there. Melissa Whitty, she's going to be here in a moment because as much as this document tells us we maintain the power of this country, it also says that you must be a dutiful citizen in order to maintain your liberty and freedom. Because if we are not dutiful citizens in the United States of America, whatever state you may be, this federation of states working together as a union, you're going to have big money, corporations telling you what to do. Kind of ironic. I did not pick this in any way, shape, or form, but this broadcast is airing on April the 19th, 2024, for the first time anyway. On April the 19th, 1775, the Concord shots were fired. And why were the shots fired that led to the Revolutionary War? Because big money in England and the king and the Rothschilds and all of these other people were telling the colonists what they could or could not do. It was the big money influence, taxation without representation that caused the problem, led to the Revolutionary War and the birth of the greatest free republic the nation has ever seen, the world has ever seen. And that stands in jeopardy if you and I do not follow through, pay attention to who's getting money from who, and then not only just vote. This isn't just about voting. It's about being loud and making sure that everybody knows who is at the center of corruption. Well, she was here not long ago, and she's back today because this woman at her home in North Carolina is digging and finding information and championing who is getting money from who. We all need to be much more like Melissa Whitty. She is a citizen journalist. What an inspiration. She's standing by. Trent on the Loose. More after this. Trent Loos here for my friend Greg Hager. Do you know why he has been named the Entertainer of the Year? It's because he writes his own stuff. It's because what he writes and performs and entertains will touch you in a way like very few songwriters can touch you. His country, his Christian roots come to life. Visit greghager.com for tour dates, merchandise, and book the show yourself. Use the code GREG24 for a discount. greghager.com.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small-town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
At OLS Tubs, we focus on quality ingredients to create premium, low-consumption supplements that save producers time and money. Our customers see increased profits through better conception rates, heavier winning weights, and less time and money spent on doctoring herds. OLS formulas focus on highly bioavailable trace minerals and vitamins, as well as key ingredients to improve immune response, colostrum quality, and feed conversion. Our exclusive formula propels your livestock to their full genetic potential. This is why we confidently say OLS Tubs are simply the best.
In the heart of North Dakota lies a beautiful community to live, work, and play. Beulah is surrounded by nature and just minutes from Lake Sakakawea and all that it offers. The possibilities for fun and relaxation here are boundless. It's the perfect place to find a fulfilling career, epic adventures, and a welcoming community. Life here is legendary. Plan your visit today and see what you're missing.
A North Dakota woman and her 4 kids killed by Mexican drug cartels.
Cartels see North Dakota as an emerging market.
When Mexican cartels murder North Dakotans, when the fentanyl they traffic is a death sentence, it's a North Dakota problem. I'm Tammy Miller. Joe Biden won't do his job. I will. If you're here in North Dakota, working for the cartel, let this serve as notice. When I'm governor, we will find you and bring you to justice.
Conservative Tammy Miller.
Folks, when it comes to crop protection, you need equipment and technology you can count on. The Apache sprayer accomplishes all of that, but you need something else. A service counter and a group of people that'll help you when you need it. Simpson Farm Enterprises at simpsonfarm.com and High Plains Apache from Mandan. They have the service, they have the equipment. All they need is your confidence. Online, simpsonfarm.com or highplainsapache.com. Welcome back, y'all. It's Trent on the Loose. As I mentioned in our setup here, we have returning Melissa Whitty, citizen journalist, because she was so widely popular. Actually, this is a true story, Melissa. Widely popular last time. Although we do need to find one way to be better at making sure people can follow up on our path of corruption that you laid out for us. First of all, how have you been?
Good. How have you been?
Better by the day.
Oh yeah, it has just been a beautiful spring in North Carolina. So it is.
We can't really say that in Nebraska, but I say that we get better every day, Melissa, so we don't really think about how it is, and we just keep trying to tell ourselves it's fantastic. We had a little mini tornado came through at 3:30 in the morning this week, and I got some pig sheds that are gone, and now I'm dealing with pigs out on a regular basis. Other than that, life's great.
Last year we had such a cold spring, and so I'm one of these weirdos that loves like hot weather. I like it when it's 100 degrees. That is my weather. Everyone thinks I'm insane, but
okay. Permission to pick on my guests a little bit here. What do you think is cold, Melissa Whitty?
I am not a normal person, and I understand that, but
you probably think 50 is cold, don't you?
Oh, honey, 65 is cold. If it's 70 degrees, I'm putting pants on, and there's about a 50. If the sun's out, I might not have a long sleeve on, but
honey, I'm putting pants on every day, whether it's 100 or 20 below. I got pants on. I'm the guy who went to speak in Florida, and I was sitting in a chair on the beach, and everybody was taking a picture because I'm wearing a black hat, a rag, a vest, and jeans and boots, and they're all walking by like, "What's wrong with you, dude? You're in Marco Island. You don't sit out here on a beach like that." I said, "That's where I sit wherever I'm at."
Yeah, well, I'm impressed because I will tell you, I'm from North Carolina, and it is hot and humid here. And the first time I ever went to Central Florida, that was the first time I was like, it's too hot. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. And that humidity is like nothing I've ever experienced.
Okay, one final weather thing, and then we're going to really move on to why we're here. When it's hot, do you typically, and you need to cool off, do you typically go sit in the sun, or do you sit in the shade?
If it's hot and I want to, I still sit in the sun, honestly.
You're weird. You're weird. Get out of here. You're completely screwing up my story.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about in my backyard. I have a tree, but I never sit underneath it.
You have a tree for shade, right?
Yeah.
What does this hat, what do these long sleeves do to my body? Provide shade on a hot day.
Well, I grew up playing softball, and my daddy is a Desert Storm veteran, and he would be the first person to tell you stay cooler with your sleeves down and your pants down, and that's how you do it in the desert. So that's how you're supposed to do it now. We never got any kind of sympathy from him.
So Melissa, I do want to request you come back very soon, but I have an additional request. I want a guy sitting next to you that is a Desert Storm veteran, and we can talk about the things involving his effort and all of those who have served our country for nearly 250 years. Is that a deal?
Yeah, it's a deal. He would love that. Yeah.
All right. Sweet. So I thought of you this week because I've been working on this little situation with our state legislature in Nebraska.
Okay.
And I was talking to somebody and I said, well, you know, so-and-so sponsored this bill. And the immediate response was, well, I'd like to find out what company made that happen. And it was like, yeah, all proposed legislation seems to have a string and a tie back to some personal financial gain. And I shouldn't probably use the word all, but it certainly seems to encompass a lot. And this is the world that you've immersed yourself in and continuing to dig up factual information. What are you working on now?
So for the last month or so, I've been focusing on Adam Kinzinger. I just kind of plucked him. He annoyed me one day on X, and so I
I love your approach. He annoyed me, so I'm gonna go pluck him.
I know. That's basically, that was it. He just irked me one day, and I was like, this guy is a little bit too smug. He's a little bit too self-righteous. Let's start looking at what he does.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Maybe I shouldn't communicate with you anymore, because if I happen to say the wrong thing, you could get irked, go off on a tangent, and start plucking me too. Oh, wait, I got nothing to hide. Pluck away. I got no money. Go ahead.
Well, I assure you, you have to actually, I actually don't think you can try to annoy me. I think you have to just be born with the loathsome personality that Adam Kinzinger possesses.
All right, sorry to interrupt you.
I don't think that's something that you can actually aspire to. It's just something
you'd be surprised.
But you're absolutely right in that what really seems to grease the wheels, what really seems to make things happen, whether it be in a state legislature or in the federal legislature, is money, basically, right? If the big dogs want something done, it will happen. But normal people, the people who are actually putting these representatives there, anything that we want done, we're lucky if for the crumbs, basically. They are not there to serve us, and they have made that abundantly clear. But so Adam Kinzinger, so sometimes things that people don't know is that once these politicians leave office, very, very often, not always, but very often, they are left with a ton of money in their campaigns coffers. Most people don't know this, but politicians at the federal level have a principal campaign committee. Then they have a joint fundraising committee, and then they have leadership committees. They can have more than one joint fundraising committee, and plenty of them do. And so even if you go to the FEC and you pull up Adam Kinzinger, you pull up Hakeem Jeffries or whoever, you'll see their principal always, but you have to go looking for those other committees, right? So Adam Kinzinger, his district got redrawn in 2021, and obviously we know everything about January 6th comes. He emerges as this kind of, dissident Republican against Trump, and he kind of takes the charge on the January 6th stuff. And we all, we know him from crying on command at the hearings. And what happened was the Illinois state legislature redrew his district, and they combined 2 Republican districts, and he wasn't polling very well with Republicans. So in the fall of 2021, he decided he's not going to run for Congress anymore, right? Now, of course, in my mind, in your mind, in all honest people's minds, that's the end of it. You shut your campaign down. You disperse the funds, you return them to the people who have donated to you, and you move on with your life. But that's not what these politicians do very often. So a lot of them do, but slime balls like Adam Kinzinger, Kinzinger went on after he announced that he was going to be retiring to raise $4 million in his leadership committees and his joint fundraising committees. All of that money, and he still had $2 million left over in his principal. So he raises over $6 million, even though he's not running for a re-election in the 2022 cycle. This is, he had never raised anything close to that. The most he had ever raised prior was about $2 million. And he starts dispersing it. Once he gets out of office, he's got, I think it was like 3.6 million left over. He starts dispersing it to these nonprofits that he has set up.
Oh, handy.
Yeah. So after the money goes into these nonprofits, well, then it's just gone, right? So right now, so that was where I left off in the first part, the first thread that I wrote was, all right, he's spending all of this money like crazy, you know, and I kind of detailed how he was using this money to store his private plane that he had. He was paying for the hangar to keep his private plane in. He was reimbursing himself.
Melissa,
I'm sorry.
you've just created a hangar, and that means that we're going to come back to see what he's doing with these millions of dollars that he acquired in a campaign mode that he's not campaigning for. Melissa Whitty, Trent Loos, we're back with more after this.
People get sick for two reasons and two reasons only. Your body's missing something that it needs, or it's exposed to something that it doesn't need. So if you supplement what the body's missing, the body fixes itself. If you remove from the body toxins that are interfering with the body's doing what it's normally designed to do, then the body heals itself. It's really that simple.
NO2U, that's nitric oxide, NO, number 2, letter U.com, and you put Trent as coupon code, you don't pay any shipping.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
D.C. Congressman Kelly Armstrong running a dirty negative campaign.
Your ads are quite negative when it comes to Tammy Miller. Why?
Well, I'm going to play the game. The
decision to go negative.
You're the first one to throw a punch. We're going to keep doing it.
Desperate and dishonest.
You cited an artificial intelligence website promoting fake news.
I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong.
D.C. politician Kelly Armstrong. Fake news, false attacks, a negative campaign with no place in North Dakota.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our Living Cultural Center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
Welcome back. Trent on the loose. Melissa Whitty, she's like a plane. Just give her some air and she's going to take off and just go because she's passionate about seeking the truth. She's made that abundantly clear. And I got to be honest with you, Melissa Whitty, nobody has ever said abundant more lovely than you did in that dissertation just before. Okay. So now the cliffhanger that we had was that Adam Kissinger has got this big pile of cash and he's giving it to nonprofits. Oh, wait, who are the nonprofits again?
They're his nonprofit.
Handy.
Well, so it's funny because so my second part that I'm following up with today on X is that Kissinger, when you look at his FEC filings, he has denoted all of these things going to these quote unquote entities as donations, right? Now, one of them, it's called the Country First Foundation. It is registered with the IRS as a nonprofit, and it is being ran by his former chief of staff, who also just so happened to be the one who helped to direct the primetime January 6th hearings.
Oh,
so
that's handy.
yeah, so you kind of go along with this circus that we saw with the January 6th hearings, and then you open a quote unquote nonprofit and it gets seeded with $500,000 from your former boss. Then, so we do have that is registered with the IRS and we can see their filings. But what's interesting is that there is another $600,000 sent to dispersed under the category donation to a entity called the Country First Action. And while that is registered in the state of Delaware as a corporation, it is not registered with the IRS as a nonprofit. So this Country First Action uses the exact same address as all of Kissinger's other, his joint fundraising committee,
His Country First subsidies, it sounds like.
Yes, it's all the same. So we know it's all being ran by the same people, quote unquote. But again, that $600,000 is just poof, just gone. We don't know where, who's running it, nothing. It's just gone. Then we've got another $200,000 that gets sent to this entity called Country First Michigan. I looked that up, and that again is under donation. Well, that is not a registered nonprofit. The address used is for a consulting firm that is ran by a woman who actually was literally just charged with campaign finance fraud.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that story.
In the state of Michigan. Yeah. So he's sending, again, I think it was like $195,000 to this Country First Michigan that doesn't exist anywhere other than in his FEC filings. So we've got that. Then we've got a Keeping Country First entity. We've got a Country First Academy. We've got, and these are all separate. They're all registered in the state of Delaware, other than Country First Michigan, which is just not registered anywhere. But I've got a list of, I think it's 8 of them that this money is getting dispersed to, and then it just disappears and no one tracks it. We have no idea where any of it goes. And you can kind of see, obviously, the implication. Now, Mr. Kissinger might have a perfectly legal explanation for all of these things, but he's certainly not making that public. And so what we see just on our end, number one, is that it sure does look like there are people who are being paid off for their services to whoever it may be. Obviously, Kissinger has been a very useful tool to the Democratic Party in his, just kind of denouncement of Republicans and especially Trump. He just never shuts up about Trump. So that's where I'm at right now.
Melissa, how much time have you spent looking at, you mentioned, and I know this happens. This is not just a Kissinger situation. This happens all across the board. Millions of dollars just show up in campaign contributions, and I mean, the economy is not good. And nobody can tell me that all people just love this guy, and so they give $249, time and time again. No, there is some source of cash, some well that people are going to, like a wishing well, and this money surfaces. And we don't even know if it's domestic or foreign, do we?
Correct. We know that they're running, that when I say they, I don't know who it is, but we do know that there are bot programs being ran, funneling this money. I'll give you one example. Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley was the Secretary of the UN under Trump, and she left after 2 years and she kind of just disappeared. Well, what people probably don't know is that in January of 2021, Nikki.
So see these cows here, Trent.
Hello, everyone. I'm Trent Loos. Welcome to another Live Across the Pond with my pontification partner, Andrew Henderson. Good afternoon, UK.
Good morning, USA. And actually, it looks quite nice there today, Trent. Nice and green countryside there. Some nice big houses you're passing. Is this your local? Are you delivering pork locally or something?
Well, kind of. I'm taking pigs for butchering to Wahoo, Nebraska. So it's about 150 miles from my house. And it just, I had to pull an Andrew. I had to strap myself in and get in the pickup and run. And I wish I could show you the visual with the view cam of the sunrise I'm looking at. It's very chemically red. It looks gorgeous, actually.
Well, we can see the reflection of it in your face as we speak. You do look a bit peaky red. But anyway.
Peaky. I'm not sure what peaky means, but I believe I'm red because everything I'm driving into is red.
No, you look red. So when you get there and you arrive, do all the people in that place go, wahoo, when they see you?
Usually they leave until I get gone, and then they go, wahoo!
So anyway, do you remember last week I was telling you, I think it was last week, it might have been the week before, that I'm getting very worried about the weather forecasting here in the United Kingdom.
Yes,
and,
I remember.
I've actually engaged a couple of my co-farmers to actually look at what's going on here with the weather. So on Friday, for the third week in a row, you look at your app on your phone and it tells you it's going to be dry for the whole week ahead. Now, this caused my telephone and various other things in my business to react, because all of a sudden farmers were going, yep, that's it. We're going to go silage it. Now, normally they will have gone silaging a good 10 days before now, maybe 2 weeks. And it would just be to get the top layer of grass off, to get it growing, and then they'd start silaging grass for next year's winter on a 5-week rotation trend. Anyway, I'm sat here now. It's Monday. I've delivered quite a lot of silage sheets and silage inoculant out, and it's pouring with rain again. And so I then look at the headlines in the farming press, and it says, food shortages are going to be upon us because A, the crops are not in the ground, B, the fertilizer's not in the ground, and C, there may well not be enough forage for the cows and cattle to eat next winter. So they are forecasting food shortages here in the UK. The other thing that's quite interesting is that we now find that Spain, quite a big place, Spain, by the way, probably slightly bigger than Texas, full of fruit and veg, they're having an untimely cold spell at the moment, Trent. So I'm getting very triggered about just what these people might be doing to manipulate our weather. So what's your thoughts on that?
My thought is you don't have to work hard at convincing me. I have no doubt that's happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not even May 1, and they're already trying to send stark and dire news to get people scared that they're going to not have access to food.
Yeah, but it's nothing to do with climate change. It's the opposite. It's that it's winter hasn't ended.
You and I know that, but people don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I just
So,
thought I'd
what
bring you.
what year did the world grow the most wheat?
Oh, I don't know. What, last year probably? Isn't it more every year, or is that not true?
1913, Russia set a record for the amount of wheat grown. 1913. So if you
Is
really
that
stop it,
acreage or
no,
acreage
total
or
bushels,
yield?
total bushel.
Really?
So if you stop and think about the technology that was available in 1913 and how we talk about how in today's world we become more efficient, which we have, no doubt about it. But if you think about the horses, the mules, all the draft, the lack of tractors, the lack of the harvesting equipment, and yet Russia set a record for the world wheat crop in 1913. Well, 1913 was the year that basically it was Lenin, I believe, that came in right after that and said, okay, enough of that, because if farmers continue to produce at this level, they will achieve their independence. Because if you remember, Catherine the Great is through 1894, and then you come into this period of fairly high production around the world until 1913. The IRS is created, the central bank is created. There's so many things that are created, and we had a complete lockdown on independence in Russia. But just stop and think about Russia sets a record in the amount of wheat grown, total bushels grown in 1913 with no mechanicalization whatsoever to speak of. And in today's world, we talk about how we must have all this technology to grow food. No, you know what the technology that we need is? Less government. Because when Russia was independent and growing what it is that they were feeding people.
Hang on, wait a minute. I don't know what I missed, but somebody just overtook you there. I missed. Did you agree with me or not agree with me that? Are you sure that's accurate about extra bushel weight being? Because we didn't have the population in 1913. It just doesn't make a lot of sense what you're saying.
Fact check me.
I think I will. Does that also mean that? Does that also mean that it was just in Russia? Because there's an awful lot of places in the world. Are you suggesting that it was just in Russia? Russia the highest level of wheat, or the world?
I'm suggesting the record wheat crop for total production in the world was 1913 in Russia.
In Russia. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, listen, it's certainly not going to be this year because most of the wheat isn't in the ground in the UK, and it probably won't be in Ukraine because there's a rumor there's a war going there, and that's the breadbasket of Europe. So I don't really think we're going to see a huge output of wheat this year.
Keep in mind that Ukraine was part of Russia in 1913.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, would it? I don't know. I can't remember when it sort of swapped about a bit. That has, but okay.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued because A, you've come up with that data, but B, I'm also intrigued because of obviously the mechanization now compared to then. When you look at the harvesting equipment and the genetic improvements in wheat, I'm staggered at that.
I don't know that our genetics are any better today in wheat than they were in 1913. Corn definitely is. Soybeans are. I don't know that wheat is any different.
Well, I used to test milling and feed wheat, and I could assure you, every year I was talking with the seed companies about the latest wheat that was going to improve the dough capacity and the Hagberg score through genetically changing the strains through fertilization. I'm really surprised at what you said. I'm surprised, and
so I'm going to fact check myself, in fact, Andrew, because I pulled all of that from memory. You triggered that thought when you were walking through how potentially I don't know that they're definitely controlling weather in all of Europe. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I think, but what I'm picking up from that is that people are beginning to realize it could be nefarious and it could also be planned. And so I'm not sure that they're playing this game right. Now, did you also, I'm going to change the subject completely.
Okay, but before you change the subject, I'm perplexed by how this whole weather modification seems to be really new to you. I mean, we've been dealing with this for very intensely for 10 plus years.
Well, we haven't. Well, I personally haven't I've heard about what they do with chemtrails and stuff like that, but I've felt that was a periphery thing. I now think, looking at what happened in Dubai and looking at what's happening here at the moment, that something very nefarious is going on, because our weather forecast is normally extremely accurate within 2 to 3 days. This is the first time in my life that I'm seeing that completely obliterated at the moment. In fact, right now, it said this morning it was going to carry on raining for 2 or 3 hours, and we're now at nearly at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm telling you, it's still pouring down. And they said it was going to finish in a couple of hours.
Don't forget, the only job in America, or in the world, the only job in the world where you can be wrong 80% of the time and still be welcome back to work is being the local weatherman. Andrew Henderson, Trent, Loos. He's got another subject, and they want to call this Earth Day. What's that all about?
Earth Day.
We'll be back with more live across the pond. Andrew Henderson, Trent, Loos, en route to Wahoo after this. That it's almost like as if people who sacrifice to contribute to the U.S. military in the name of defense are not happy with where we're at, and they're saying, my oath is still there.
Yeah, I come from a long line of servicemen and women. My mom served in the Navy too, and I didn't take that lightly. You know, it's not just something I did because my family did. It was something I did because I love this country. As crazy as this country is and can be, I still love it, and I would defend it to my last breath, even today.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our Living Cultural Center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
Trent Loos here for my friend Greg Hager. Do you know why he has been named the Entertainer of the Year? It's because he writes his own stuff. It's because what he writes and performs and entertains will touch you in a way like very few songwriters can touch you. His country, his Christian roots come to life. Visit greghager.com for tour dates, merchandise, and book the show yourself. Use the code GREG24 for a discount. greghager.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at besetmotors.com. Beset Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Folks, when it comes to crop protection, you need equipment and technology you can count on. The Apache sprayer accomplishes all of that, but you need something else. A service counter and a group of people that'll help you when you need it. Simpson Farm Enterprises at simpsonfarm.com and High Plains Apache from Mandan. They have the service, they have the equipment. All they need is your confidence. Online, simpsonfarm.com or highplainsapache.com.
Look, so see these cows here, Trent.
Welcome back, live across the pond. Andrew Henderson, Trent Loos, and the sun is now up, but the clouds are impeding its progress. Okay.
So
you were going to say what now?
I am. I'm going to give you a big conspiracy theory. I've sent Luke, our best backroom boy, a picture, and it triggered me over the weekend because this picture has appeared on social media, and it triggered me because I can't believe this is a coincidence. I'm going to describe it to you just in case he can't put it on air, but it is a picture. Okay, well, it's a picture of the lady in the movie Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby, if you don't know, Trent, was the offspring in this movie, supposedly, of the devil. And the girl in the movie is wearing a red dress with what I could only describe as a crocheted neck collar. It's very, very distinctive that she was the mother of the son or the offspring of the devil in the movie. Now, Trent, what do you think the odds are of Kate Middleton, that's Prince William's wife, wearing exactly the same dress when she showed her baby to the world?
I would think not very high.
Well, that is exactly what has happened. Right? That really did spook me. When I saw that, I thought, oh my goodness.
What does that mean to you?
She do it means the signification in the movie is it's the devil's baby. So this is one of our the heir to our throne who's gone missing. Maybe she's trying to give some messages to the people of the world about the family that she's joined, Trent. That's all I'm saying. I did find this quite spooky. It's almost identical, the dress, maybe a slightly different brightness on the red, but everything else is the same.
Luke had a little picture of it up there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a flash in the pan. He must have thought it was a Snapchat picture because it was only there like 3 seconds and gone.
No, you weren't watching. It was there quite a lot longer than 3 seconds. It was there
I must be driving. That's right.
yeah. You were looking. But the reason I'm saying that is that the general, you say people aren't awakening fast enough, but this is waking people up because people are now saying, hang on a minute, we haven't seen this woman for nearly 5 months, and they've given us AI photographs. They've given us a video of her that's not clear on a bench without her husband telling us that she's got cancer. There is a big story in this, Trent, and it's not a trivial one. There's something really big behind it.
Actually, I just can't garner any interest for anything that happens with the royal family. The fact that they would be related to Satan or have some satanic message is not a surprise to me, nor do I want to pay attention.
No, but the point is that it's all linked to these governments that are trying to control the narrative at the moment. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not making... I know what your thoughts are on our royal family, and I'm with you on that now. But there's something significant here. There's a suppression of information that's going to out what's going on. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why it's important. So I am unashamedly going to bring these things up, because that's too coincidental that somebody that from within the family is trying to show the rest of the world there's something not right going on. I think that's good. They're linked to, as you know, to the Epstein Island. They're linked to the other guy, that Diddy or whatever his name is. All these people, the same people, are linked together, and it all revolves around child trafficking. I think that's important, Trent. So, and because they're the focus for a lot of the population, if the truth of all that and what they're behind comes out, that could be very important in waking people up. Maybe you can't see that, but I can.
No, I see no relevance whatsoever.
Okay, well, you obviously choose your relevances, but that's because if I start talking to you about Epstein Island and you look at the United States of America, you know that it's linked to your border, it's linked to child trafficking on your border.
It's linked to every bit of the evil part of the United States and the world. I have no doubt about that.
But you're interested in it when it's in the United States, but if it's not, you're not. That's not a good thing. It's a world issue, this. It's not just the United States issue.
It is a world issue, but I continue to tell you, I can't do anything about the royal family. I can do something about what happens in my county, in my part of the world, and I will.
But information like that helps wake those people in your local county up.
No, it doesn't. Nobody cares about Kate Middleton in my county.
All right. Okay. I don't think you're quite accurate there. It's not her personally, but when they hear that the royal family's involved in child issues, I think that's a big thing. That's a big bit of news worldwide. But we'll see. We'll see whether I'm right. It's certainly true for countries in Africa, countries in Europe, and some of our Commonwealth countries like Canada, Australia. It's certainly true there. Extremely true there. It will wake people up. Your stubbornness sometimes. Yeah, of course it will. The royal family's huge in those countries. Huge.
It will be news this week while the picture is prevalent, and then 3 weeks from now, nobody will remember it, talk about it, or care. They are just trying to plant some psych op on you to get people going into a tizzy. I kind of like talking about the weather and food famine before it is May.
There's no psyop there, because at the end of the day, somebody's found those two pictures. But what's interesting is that it all evolves around the fact that nobody's seen this woman for 5 months. That's the story.
Yeah. I haven't missed
And that's what... No, I know. But I do think you demean yourself sometimes by dismissing other things that can wake people up.
Well, I'm fine with demeaning
what you're doing
myself.
is you are, because you think that only you know what's relevant, and that's very arrogant.
No, it's not relevant to me. I'm not telling you what should be relevant to you.
Well, I think it could be relevant, because these people are involved in this skullduggery at the highest level, and we need to break it at the highest level. When people realize that these people
we agree.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. These people are the tip of the spear. The most wealthy people in the world are all in this together, and they need to be outed.
So today we recognize as Earth Day, which has always been problematic to me because it started in the 70s. And anybody who tends to land, we consider Earth Day to be every day. But instead, the people like you're talking about want to have some banner. And by the way, if you go to the people who started Earth Day in the United States, you can make a $50 donation. Hey, you can make a $500 donation to help protect the cause. And all of that is relevant. And I'm only bringing it up because I was extremely interested in what they put on the website that started the whole campaign behind Earth Day. I'll never forget, I was invited to the University of Wyoming because the ag students at the University of Wyoming back in the early 2000s, they said every day is Earth Day. If you're going to have Earth Day, we're going to bring hamburgers and serve them to people. And they did. And they did a fantastic job. But Andrew, I'm going to put this in the form of a question. What do you think on the Earth Day website they are proposing as the #1 problem that we need to fix in today's world?
Climate.
That's exactly what I would have expected, but that's not what it was. Microplastics, and how microplastics have snuck into every part of our life and causing Alzheimer's, causing abortion, causing fertility problems. Everything stems back to the petroleum business, and it is all about the plastics that are in our environment and our food and everything else.
I'm amazed it's taken them that long to get to that. Because if they were really going to get support from people, that is an area that does concern me, that there is so much plastic waste all over our planet.
Where's
that
it at?
does concern me.
How do you know how much plastic? How do you know how much plastic waste there is around the planet?
I see it on the sidewalk every day, everywhere. I've never seen one of the biggest things that annoys me is plastic waste. I'm being honest about it. I think it's disgusting.
I knew that. It is disgusting. When I see somebody throw something out on the road, I think it's horrible. But I don't know that in any way, shape, or form it's contributed to denigrating the environment. I don't know that. I see nothing. What I do know is that our environment, our water, our air, our soil is the healthiest it's been in 200 years in this country. And that continually gets overlooked because people want to find a thing to pick on.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I'd have to tell you that most of it ends up in the South China Sea, and I would ask you to go there. It's an absolutely filthy place, and it is full of plastic.
Live across the pond, regaining control for the farmer. Sun rises up, wahoo is in my sights. Regaining control for the farmer, one bite at a time. See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
At OLS Tubs, we focus on quality ingredients to create premium, low-consumption supplements that save producers time and money. Our customers see increased profits through better conception rates, heavier winning weights, and less time and money spent on doctoring herds. OLS formulas focus on highly bioavailable trace minerals and vitamins, as well as key ingredients to improve immune response, colostrum quality, and feed conversion. Our exclusive formula propels your livestock to their full genetic potential. This is why we confidently say OLS Tubs are simply the best.
People get sick for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. Your body's missing something that it needs, or it's exposed to something that it doesn't need. So if you supplement what the body's missing, the body fixes itself. If you remove from the body toxins that are interfering with the body's doing what it's normally designed to do, then the body heals itself. It's really that simple.
NO2U, that's nitric oxide, NO2U.com, and you put Trent as coupon code, you don't pay any shipping.
In the heart of North Dakota lies a beautiful community to live, work, and play. Beulah is surrounded by nature and just minutes from Lake Sakakawea and all that it offers. The possibilities for fun and relaxation here are boundless. It's the perfect place to find a fulfilling career, epic adventures, and a welcoming community. Life here is legendary. Plan your visit today and see what you're missing.
Open Range is going to be like a digital magazine, I call it. We're going to be looking at a variety of subjects from agriculture, energy, sports, art, politics, of course, and we will be talking about a lot of subjects, having a lot of guests on, and I'm going to have a variety of co-hosts. One of them is Memo Barreto, E.L. Wetzel, Gene Grainer, Dustin Goverlau, and Daryl Lease. Welcome to Open Range, weeknights at 9 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.